Gotta love a good throwback. Well, Steph Curry continues to light it up. He dropped 41 last night in the Warriors' win over the Pelicans. Draymond Green said teams are terrified of how well Steph is playing, and Steve Kerr took it one step further. Kerr said that Curry has the humility, humor, and confidence of Tim Duncan. Kerr also said that Curry reminds him of former teammate Michael Jordan because Curry's brilliance and excellence becomes routine and is expected. So, Shannon, are these comparisons valid here?
They are. The only difference between Steph and Tim Duncan really showed no emotion. Whether he scored 15 points, Skip, or he scored 30 and grabbed 20 rebounds. Steph is going to shimmy on you. Steph is going to shoot that three, turn and look at the bench. Did he go ahead? Your head went in. Steph is going to do his thing. That's Steph. But I can understand the humility because did Tim Duncan even really ever speak? I mean, he once got thrown out of the game for just laughing. He left the sideline, and the official, Joey Crawford threw him out of the ball game. And Tim looked at it like, what?
Me?
Who, me?
And Joey Crawford got thrown out of the league for a while.
He got suspended for it. And with Jordan, Skip, once you reach the status of being great, the expectation is you're going to be great every single game. So it's like if Steph goes 2 for 10 from the three, you're like, man, what happened to Steph? Steph must be hurt. Because you expect every shot is like Michael. Every time Michael Jordan shot the ball, Skip, people expected it to go in. When Steph shoots the ball, you automatically expect it to go in. No matter how far he's shooting it for. Be like, he's taking a shot at half court, like, yeah, that's about to go in. Like, you do realize, like, 9 times out of 10, that shot's not supposed to go in. He just got you convinced that he's made it more times than not, that every time he shoots, it's supposed to go in. And we've gotten spoiled with the things that Steph does, just like we get spoiled with the things that Michael did and KD and LeBron. So, yes, it's a great, because for me, I think the comparison between Tim Duncan and Steph is fair because they're both kind of quiet, but Steph is more emotional on the court than Tim ever was. Tim got the nickname the Big Fundamental. I think Shaq gave him that because he was fundamentally sound. Wasn't nothing spectacular about his game. It's just that he won way more than he lost. And you looked up, you're like, hold on. He had a 30-20 game with 5 blocks? That's Steph, you know Steph is knifing you up because you like it. Because he's like electric. Skip, I've never seen anything like it. He could have 7 points in the first half and then get 27 in the quarter. So, yeah, I like the comparisons. People don't give Steph enough credit, Skip. Steph has a higher final scoring average than Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, and D. Wade. Let that sink in, people, for just a second. A higher final scoring average. And we know what Kobe represents. We know what Larry represents. And little old Chef Steph, 6'3", okay, maybe 6'2.5". But Skip,
I think he's a full 6'3".
You'll give
6'3" to me.
You can give 6'3".
He looks little compared to the rest of them.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, I like the comparisons. I don't really know if Tim had a great sense of humor. I guess because Steve Kerr had the great luxury of playing with Michael and playing with. He would know better than anybody else. And he's had the luxury of coaching Steph for like the last 5 or 6 years. So he has the luxury. He has a very unique perspective that very few people can have. I played with Steph. I coached Steph. I played with Tim, and I played with Mike. So I think he is the best to say, yeah, you know what? He's a combination of those two guys.
So I give you this. Steve Kerr has credibility and validity when he speaks of those two.
Yeah.
He saw them up close and personal. But I wish he wouldn't go there on either count because it's not right to me. And I don't think it's valid comparisons on either case because I was around Jordan a lot. I know a lot about Tim because I've been a Spurs fan. I've been pretty connected to people in and around the organization. So I have a pretty good sense of what he was and what he remains. And for me, let's start with Tim Duncan. He was as quiet a superstar, as unassuming a superstar as this league has ever seen. Because most people
the quietest
give him the designation, I guess it is, of the greatest power forward ever. I thought he was just a center. Silly me. But that's okay. If you want to do that, I got it.
Yeah.
But if you know the Spurs dynasty, he was the driving force of it. He was the leader of the dynasty.
Yes.
On and off the court. and he just played basketball.
Yes.
There was no showboating. There was no hot dogging. There was none of this stuff, or there was no
He was just
mouth guard hanging out.
He skipped Baylor's chicken breast. He's good, but he plain.
but he was very, very good.
Yes.
And when it was time to speak up in the locker room,
Right.
off the court,
Right.
he spoke.
Yes.
And when he spoke, they listened to him. And when that team needed to be righted under fire on the court, he was the one who took the basketball and made the play to win the game. He won a whole bunch of championships, and if it weren't for Ray Allen, he would have won. He would have been undefeated in the NBA Finals.
Right.
He'd be right up there in that sort of Jordan.
Well, he'd be
category.
6-0.
Yeah, he would be 6-0. Got it. So it's hard for me. I get it. Steph off the floor is very humble. In all his interviews, he's very humble and extremely likable.
Right.
And I think people really want to like Steph Curry. There are times on the floor when his showboating and his hot dogging, I don't like. It just, after a while, it alienates me as a fan of his because it's just too much.
Hit him with that shoulder still when he hit that three.
Okay,
Hit him with that shoulder. Yeah, hit him with that shoulder.
I got it. And it's part and parcel of who he is, and he backs it up. So
Right.
I don't take that away. But don't compare him to the big fundamental because Tim never showboated.
No, and but here's the thing, what you got to concede, though, Skip. Tony Parker comes, wins Finals MVP. Tim said, okay, you need to do that? Okay.
You didn't hear a peep about it.
KD comes. I get over, hey,
Okay,
try this thing.
I got it.
And so I think a lot of that's what Steve is talking about because Steve saw firsthand, this is Steph, the unquestioned leader, the undeniable franchise player that he's willing to concede, says, okay, KD, do this. Tim Duncan is the undeniable. Oh, Tony Parker, you need to do that, Tony. Manu, okay, do you, Rob, good.
Kawhi.
Thank you. So, Skip, not only did he get passed up twice, once, he got passed up twice.
He did.
And he said, you know what, I'm cool with that. I'll ride shot. Not only was he not in the passenger seat, he got in the back seat. So he was playing second to Tony Parker and Kawhi.
Okay. Now to Jordan. To me, comparing anybody to Jordan is just wrong and it's unfair to whomever you're comparing to.
Right.
It's not fair to Steph, but he's trying to make the point of we take him for granted because he's so great every night.
Right.
Well, okay, timeout. He's not great every night. He's had, and I don't have enough show to go through it, but he's had a dozen games this year where he just was completely off.
Right.
Completely cold, because if you're going to do what he does, you're going to have a night where you you go frigid cold, right? You can't hit the rim, right? And if you just go back and look at his game log and find the dozen games, there are a bunch of 1 for 10s, there are a whole bunch of 2 for 9s, there's some 1 for 13s, and then even back, it was just April 21st, he had a 2 for 14 that broke him out of his, when he was just on fire and he went cold. You're going to go cold.
Yeah.
He's going to remind you fairly regularly, this is hard, man.
Oh, yeah.
What I'm doing, I'm taking shots with extremely high degree of difficulty.
Skip, they put a stat up on the screen last night. The average distance of his shots made is almost 19 feet. Zion is 4.7 feet. So let that sink in for a second, Skip. This dude is almost shooting 3-pointers every shot he takes.
I got it, but I don't need the Jordan comparison to remind me just how great he is. I get it. I see it, but people tend to overreact to how great he is.
Well, I think that's, Skip, we do that all the time with greatness.
Yep.
Because they make it look so easy when it's not easy. Having played the NFL and have been around and to watch Jerry and to watch Barry and to play with John Elway, a lot of these great players, the Ray Lewises, they made it look easy, like, oh, man. But when you get down to it, it was hard. It's hard to get 20 tackles with 2 sacks and a pick. You're like, hold on. Everybody can't do that. And what Steve Kerr is saying, the way these two guys played, it's not easy.
I got it. I think we got to go because Mr. Usman is waiting.
Yeah.
When he says he's ready,
As
you better be ready.
The wait is over, guys. Kamaru Usman will join us coming off his latest victory right after the break. Stick with us.